Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Imperator Rome as we are playing as the Roman Republic. So today we're going to have our second historical lecture. Remember, if you're not interested in hearing it, there'll be a timestamp in a pinned comment that'll let you skip right past it and go straight to the gameplay where, of course, we're going to be declaring war on Syracuse in this episode and invading into Sicily. So that'll let you skip right to the gameplay. This should be a shorter lecture than the last one, and that's the reason why I picked this topic and why we're not doing the Punic War right now, because I tried to figure out a way how I could cover just one of the Punic Wars, the first Punic War, in a quick lecture, and if I did that, it would be so broad. Now, this topic actually came from a viewer. He asked me about it in the comments. I responded to him. And he had also asked if I could maybe cover it in a video, and I realized that considering the name of this patch, the Marius patch, this would actually be a really good topic for this series, and that is over Roman military reforms, and not the more famous one, the one that the patch is named after. So I would say that most people are probably pretty familiar with the Marius reforms. There were a system of military reforms that happened hundreds of years before those that I would say were just as significant, and most people are probably not as familiar with. Now, if you played any of the Rome Total War games, then you're going to be familiar with some of the names of these units that I'm naming here, because Rome Total War made use of them for their different unit types. And so you're going to be familiar with the names, and I think that's why this viewer asked about it, is he's familiar with the names of them. So he was just kind of wondering how they came about. Like, was it just one major reform that introduced this system, or if it's something that kind of evolved as they slowly introduced each line of this legion system. And it actually was one reform, and that was the reform into the manipular system, or the manipular legion, and or it could be called the maniple legion. And that was actually the first Roman legion. So before these reforms, Rome fought pretty much like the Greeks and the Etruscans here in Italy. We talked about the Etruscans several episodes ago and how much influence they had on Rome, and they definitely influenced the Roman military as well, and the Etruscans were themselves influenced by the Greeks, and they used the hoplite phalanx style of warfare. And we won't go into how the phalanx formation fought. I think that'd be more suitable for somewhere in Greece, or if he did like a Macedonian campaign. And I think most people are probably familiar with the phalanx anyways. So that's how the Romans fought. That's how they had, started building their empire. In the Second Samnite War, though, they discovered that the phalanx formation was just not very effective for the terrain that they were fighting in, which is largely this area here in the mountains. So that was the conquest of this part of the Samnites, country. And that all happened before the game's time period. In fact, when we first started the game, we had an event about the Second Samnite War, that first event that popped up that we kind of briefly talked about. So yeah, that war happened right before this game's time period, and it was during that war that the Romans realized that their current hoplite phalanx formation just did not work effectively in this terrain, and they were actually defeated by the Samnites. They faced a very devastating defeat, in fact, and that's where the Romans decided that they needed to completely change up their system of warfare and adopt a new system, and that is the birth of the Roman legion, the first Roman legions. So this is, of course, before the Marius reform, so therefore the Roman army is still very much a citizen levy-based army, and this system was designed based on that concept that they're going to be raising up this levy-based army, and that citizens were going to be bringing their own equipment that they had purchased themselves. And so these 4 lines were based on that idea. So where on this line that you would be placed as a citizen was partially based on your experience and your age, but more than anything it was based on your equipment. But that is kind of directly tied to your age and experience in a way, because a younger person would obviously be poorer in general than an older person. But it wasn't entirely class-based or age-based or experience-based. It was more than anything the equipment. That was kind of the most important factor that determined where on the line you would be, is how well equipped you were. So the front of the line was called the Velates. Some pronounce it Velates because I think the V is supposed to be pronounced with that W sound, but I think most people are more familiar with the V sound. So the Velates were the first line, and they were skirmishers. They were typically not armored at all. They might have some armor, but usually they were the poor or younger citizens who did not have the money to pay for armor. Because they were younger, they were also more energetic. They had more energy, the energy of youth, and therefore they were able to run in front of the line and act as skirmishers and then quickly retreat behind the next line. And so the Velates were a pretty important element of the Roman army at this time. They were able to kind of soften up the enemy before the infantry actually clashed. The second line were the Hastati, and they were also typically fairly young and maybe not very wealthy, but they had enough money to pay for some basic armor, a breastplate, a helmet, and they were also very inexperienced. The Hastati was the first line that would engage in melee combat, and they typically took very high casualties. The majority of the casualties in a battle for Rome was usually the Hastati. The Velates would, they weren't engaged in the melee battle, so they didn't take very high casualties, but the Hastati, they did. They took the majority of the casualties in the conflict. If you were able to survive that, then you'd be able to get promoted to the next rank, and hopefully you'd earn enough money to have the equipment for that rank, so you would no longer have to fight in the Hastati, because again, it was a very dangerous formation. The Hastati rarely won the battle for Rome. What would happen is, once they had taken high enough casualties and kind of, again, softened up the enemy line, which, as you can see, the Velates and the Hastati, that is really their role, is to just kind of soften them up. The Hastati would then retreat behind the third line, which were the Principes. And I hope I'm pronouncing that one right, because again, I think the C is supposed to be that K sound. So the Principes were the main line. These are the guys who won the battle. So more experienced troops, very heavily armored. They're the first line that I would call heavy infantry. Some would say that Hastati are heavy infantry based on their role, but if you look at their equipment, and again, you can argue all day whether the designation of heavy infantry is based on role or equipment. I would say that Hastati was more medium infantry, though, just because they weren't well equipped. And as far as their role, I mean, were they heavy infantry? Because again, it was more of like a softening up action that they did. So I would call them medium infantry, and I'd say the Principes were the first heavy infantry line for the Roman legion, and they're the ones who typically won the battle. So they fought in the formation style that we are familiar with the Roman legions, as did the Hastati. So the Principes were more experienced, more disciplined, and better equipped. They were the ones who won Rome's wars during this time. The fourth and final line of this system, of this manipular system, were the Triarii. And the Triarii were typically the most experienced of the legion. They had fought in many battles. They were quite disciplined, and they were well equipped. They're in fact often the richest and most or best equipped of the Roman infantry. And they would be in the back line, and they often did not fight. They fought along the similar lines to the former Roman army before the reforms. So they fought with spears in a sort of phalanx formation. And I hesitate to call it a phalanx formation because it was a bit different, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the Triarii were the final line. If it came to the Triarii, then it was kind of like a last-ditch effort. They didn't know if they were going to win at that point because the enemy had already gotten through the Principes, which most enemies did not get through that line. But they were the best of the Roman legions at the time. Again, very, very experienced, very disciplined, and they could close the war, and very rarely did the Triarii lose when it did come down to them. So of the four lines of the system, the Triarii took the least casualties, so it was the place where the richest citizens would want to be. So you'd have to be quite wealthy to fight on the line with the Triarii, since you'd have to have the full equipment, the full armor. However, if you had enough money for a horse, then you might be a member of the Equites. So that was the Roman light cavalry. Now, you wouldn't necessarily, if you're wealthy, be part of the Equites, because the Romans were an infantry-based army, so they didn't really have a lot of cavalry in their armies. So therefore, there wasn't a lot of places there for people, even if they had a horse. So most wealthy citizens were, if they fought in the legion, they fought with the Triarii and not with the Equites. Now, as for the composition of a typical Roman army, the Velates would form about a quarter of the Roman army. So there was a lot of them, because again, these are the poorer and younger citizens. So there's quite a few of them. So they would often form about a quarter of this legion system. Another quarter of the army would be the Hastati, and then the third quarter of the army would be the Principes, and then the last quarter would be not quite evenly split between the Equites and the Triarii. And that's what I meant by the fact that it wasn't quite a phalanx formation, because the Triarii fought in very, very thin lines overall, much thinner than the former phalanx formation, which is often a much thicker formation. And so therefore they weren't quite phalanx, because again, they were such a thin line, so I'd hesitate to call them a phalanx, but they fought in that same kind of style. So this was the legion system that Rome would use all the way up until the Marius reforms. So effectively a little over 200 years they made use of this, and it did play a very large role in their success on the battlefield. During that time period, much of the Roman Empire, it wasn't an empire at the time, but much of the lands that the Roman Republic would conquer was done using this system. So it was very, very effective, and that is technically the system we are using now. Now, how this translates to the game's military system, I'm not entirely sure, guys, because the Romans didn't really use much archers. They really didn't have much at all. I mean, they might have some mercenary archers, but archery was really not the weapon system used by Rome, or really by much of the ancient world at this time, actually. It's kind of a more specialized skill. You see it a bit more in the east than you do over here. But yeah, they didn't really have much archers. So some people say that the archers are supposed to be the Velates, and the light infantry are the Hastati, and then the heavy infantry are the Principes and the Triarii. But from my understanding, the light infantry are actually called the Velates in certain parts of the game. And also the Hastati were equipped more along the lines of the heavy infantry, even if, again, they're kind of more medium infantry in my opinion. And so some argue that the heavy infantry represents all of them, the Hastati, the Principes, and the Triarii, that these are the Velates, and then who knows what the archers are supposed to be, I don't know, slingers or something. So yeah, it's interesting to try and figure out, and there's definitely a lot of debate. You'll see debate on the forums exactly how this is supposed to break down, and nobody's really determined which is which. Again, though, I do think certain parts of the game are called the light infantry Velates, so, and the icon there would indicate that as well. So yeah, that's basically the breakdown of the Roman manipular system, and I just want to kind of cover it because I know that people aren't as familiar with it, even if they know the names of them from the Total War games, that they're not exactly as familiar with how the system worked. But again, it was kind of like once the line was defeated, then they would, or not even defeated, but they had done their role, then they retreated back behind the next line. So, Velates softened them up, and then Hastati would soften them up, typically taking very high casualties in the process, and then the Principes would try and win the battle, and then if they didn't, then it came down to the Triarii. In fact, that was often a kind of a saying in Rome, that people would say that it comes down to the Triarii, meaning that it comes down to the last minute, it comes down to the last straw. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode, where we're going to be declaring war on Syracuse as soon as we get the claim on them. So we're just waiting on that. The Greek menace. So Lucius stridently advocates the conquest of Syracuse. These Greeks are colonists, little better than the Punic rovers, who abandoned their own lands to rape the soil and cities of our Siculan brothers. It has somewhat succeeded where the hubristic Athenians fell. No city can long withstand the wrath of Rome. So this is going to gain us the cracking the phalanx, a plus 5% siege ability, and a plus 5% light cav offense. Alright, so that's really nice. So yeah, these are the events tied to the mission that we're currently doing. So similar to the last mission for the Italian Peninsula, where these events fired and gave us some bonuses and gave us some claims and stuff. So yeah, this gives us the claim here, which we're already getting. So I don't know if that's going to cancel that. But yeah, we can declare war now. So let's go ahead and stop that. And let's go ahead and get our legions risen up. I should say our levies. Again, I hate that they call it legion here because the levies were called legions as well. So it's kind of confusing in a way because it's the system that was called the legions, not necessarily a standing army. In fact, there was no standing army really until the Marius reforms. You could debate on whether those levies who were raised up and then not let to go home for years and years and years kind of were a standing army, but of course it wasn't the official policy. So yeah, let's go and raise these levies up. I don't think we'll need all our troops. We'll probably just use these 8,000. I think that should be enough with the 6,000. I don't know how many troops the enemy has, but I'm expecting that's going to be enough. So let's go and send these guys in as well. I don't know how we're going to do on the food here, but looks like we should be fine. So let's go and move them in to right here. They should move pretty quick because we do have these roads. So we'll see them kind of just flying down there. Yeah, look at that. Look at them go. All right, so the augur Publius died. All right, we put him in place from that event system where they had asked him for us to put him there, and we got a bit of money from that. Restoring the status quo, the hubbub of whispering senators fades as Lucius stands and clears his throat theatrically. Friends, Carthaginian merchants have long enjoyed mastery of the Mediterranean trade, even in Rome. Why, when we have the strength to wrest the markets of all Italia from these foreign bean counters? So this is very stirring stuff. It's going to give us plus 5% ship damage, negative 5% ship building costs, and we're going to get claims on the Sardinia and the rest of Sicily. So also going to get a bit of popularity from that. So we're just waiting for you guys to get over here. I think we should probably play for our military, pay for our fleet so that we can get that morale increasing so that we'll have them ready for this conflict. I don't know how many ships the enemy has. Probably not many. Yeah. Oh, these guys actually have a bit of a fleet. Yeah, they got a bit of a fleet here. So what ended up happening historically, I guess we're going to event here, so we'll look at this. The exploits of our enthusiastic senators have reached the ears of the Syracusans and the Carthaginians, though our recent conquests are probably more pressing concern for them. Some rumor go as far as to claim that the old rivals are warming to each other after centuries of war, uniting against Roman belligerents. In fact, there's a couple things we need to talk about here that I mentioned in the pinned comment and I forgot about here. So I mentioned 3 things in that pinned comment, and one of them was actually wrong. I just noticed these in editing, and I saw that there's a holy site here, and so I was thinking that Campus Martius decision that we did, which that stands for the field of Mars. So I was thinking, because this now had a holy site for Mars, that the Campus Martius, that's the one that created it. But it did not. This is, in fact, over here. So they had built a holy site here. So we cannot put treasures here, guys. So I was wrong about that. Again, I just noticed it while editing. And didn't really pay close enough attention, obviously, because yeah, that is not the case. We do not have a holy site here. So that was the first thing I noticed. The second thing is that we now have enough pops. You need 80 pops in a city in order to change to a metropolis. And so we're definitely going to want to do that. That's going to cost a bit of money, though, and political influence. We have the political influence. We do not have the gold, though, and I don't expect to have it, at least until the end of this conflict here. So we won't be able to do that just yet, unfortunately. And then the third and final thing that I noted in that comment and had noticed while editing the video was the fact that we need to change up our diplomatic stance here. We're still in the domineering stance, which was very helpful when you had subjects and we were trying to get them annexed. We don't have any subjects anymore, so this is pretty useless at this point. So we should really probably change this up. And we have the political influence to do so I don't know why we wouldn't. So we could get this one to, this would obviously help us out with the aggressive expansion as we gain it. But we've been doing a great job burning off the aggressive expansion, with the exception of when we got that 36 or something like that. That took a while, obviously. So yeah, I don't think we're going to go with that one. Could go with this one here. You can get the claims faster, but we're getting all our claims from the missions, and the war score cost hasn't really been a problem for us either. Now, of course, we get a less AE from the conflict, but yeah, I don't think we're going to do that one either. I almost want to go with the mercantile one to get more money. I feel like that has been kind of the key issue for us. We just don't have enough money. So yeah, I think we're going to change up to it. Now in the later game, money is like not a problem. You're just swimming in it. But here in the early game, I do find that I often don't have enough money. So yeah, we have the claim there, obviously. We're going to declare war here soon. Pretty much as soon as we get these troops down here. Oh yes, we never did replace the augur. So we do need to do that real quick. And I don't really care who has this position, so we just want to satisfy our unhappy family here, which I think that's the best one. Yeah, so we'll just put him in place, even though he's not great. So yeah, we'll put Quintus in charge here to appease the family, which, by the way, that issue that I had last episode with the loyalty, that did not get fixed from a save and reload. I actually had to do what several people suggested in the comments and replace a member of the family, like fire him and then hire him again. That was the only way I could get it to work. And I had to do that with I think there was 2, maybe 3 families that were broken. I had to do that with all of them to get it to work. Unfortunately, that save and reload just wasn't enough. All right, so we got our troops coming over here. Got our ships just about up on the morale. And that's good enough. So we'll have these guys attack here while they come through here. And I suppose there's no forts here. That's what it looks like. Where are the forts again? Let's just take a little peek. All right, so we're looking at, yeah, the forts all up along here and then there in the Syracuse capital and the city of Syracuse. So the drums of war, the mood in Romans once again, one of hopeful trepidation of the calm before the storm, of the wistful yearning of fresh-faced soldiers for the spoils and adventures of war. Rome stands on the threshold of everlasting glory. The fates and future of all peoples of the world perhaps lie in our hands. Much will be decided in the coming days. Yeah, I don't really think that this is the way that Rome looked at things at the time. The idea that, the future of all peoples of the world lay in their hands. A lot of people think that Rome had this goal of conquering everything they did, and they really didn't. A lot of the conquests that happened were kind of more just based on opportunity, or just being forced into the wars sometimes. Sometimes it was about revenge, but it wasn't often like, oh, let's go conquer everything. But one exception would actually be the First Punic War, which I was going to mention a little bit about that here as we started this conflict. We do have 2 missions that are available here, so let's see what we might want to do. So this is conquer Corsica, and we'll be able to found a colony there, right? Because we've already conquered it, obviously, and then that'll allow us to settle the rest of it. And then the second one is approach the Siculans, or I think Siculans, something like that. And we don't really need to do that one right now. We'll see if that one's still available. It might be. I don't know who all has that culture here. So let's do this one, the Conquer Corsica. And we can immediately do the settling one. This is, of course, about picking the capital here, same as we've done in those other locations. I assume we just want it to stay right there, right? Where the port is. I think that probably makes the most sense. So yeah, we'll probably keep it there. The other options would be here. Yeah, that's the only other option. It said it's a stronghold because it's in the mountains, but they don't have a fort there right now. I wonder if it builds a fort. It does not. So yeah, we want this one here, guys. I think this is the best one. All right, fantastic. And we do have the settling Corsica mission available. This is going to take 448 days. We have secured the more hospitable parts of Corsica, trodden by Greek, Phoenician, and Etruscan traders. Now we should encourage the settlements of the entire island to consolidate our control, ensure it does not fall into the hands of our enemies, and that all its resources, peoples, and ports serve the Roman state. Settlers will soon depart for Corsica. All right, and yeah, I don't know that we'll do this one here, guys. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, you probably won't do that one. We still have to wait for this one to complete as well. Then we'll see. Yeah, we won't be able to do this one obviously until we complete some of the rest of this here. These are the conditions to get these ones done. All right, so we are there. Let's go ahead and declare war. And I'm gonna go for that one. Doesn't really matter, honestly, because we're gonna try and get control of all of it. Remember, we're gonna be declaring war on the entire defensive league here. Gonna have to fight them all. So the first Punic War was actually over this location here. Let's go and get our troops moving, because I kind of want to talk about this while we fight, because we've already actually, we've already had a discussion, a historical discussion. So I was going to talk about this while we fight. And we're going to actually slow this down, because I don't know where their troops are. So we got 4,000 there. So this is for the colonization here. Our first colony in Corsica will be at this location here. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Maybe Ficaria? That's how I'm going to pronounce it for now until somebody corrects me. Our first colony in Corsica will be at Ficaria. Scouts sent ahead, cautiously avoiding confrontations with the locals, have confirmed its suitability for the small group of settlers, landless freemen from Fundi in Latium. We could encourage more settlers by providing them with some incentives. So we can say a new colony needs a solid foundation. We'll pay a little bit of gold here. 3 freemen or citizen pops will move from Ficaria, from Croton, and we'll now own that. And we'll get the aggressive colonization, which will reduce population output, but increase migration attraction. Or we can say only a few settlers will be necessary, and only 1 freeman or citizen will move, and we'll get a plus 25% population output, which is, I think, the one we're going to do. They already have pops here. Yeah, I think we'll just do 1. I think that's fine. All right, excellent. I don't really want that negative 50% output. I didn't see how long it lasted, but I think it's just better do it that way. So we did finish up here. We're going to be gentle. It's still in Italy. We'll probably be gentle around Sicily as well. So with this should start flipping all these other provinces. And I guess we'll just go and send both armies over here. They have 4,000 troops here, and we don't know how much Syracuse has just yet. Our fleet does not have their morale up entirely, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Clearly, I didn't start paying them soon enough. With the economy, the fort maintenance goes up automatically, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, the first Punic War was over this. They called for help from both... Are we going to actually have to fight them? No. From both the Romans and the Carthaginians. The Romans... as they typically did, took a long time to debate it. Romans often very slow to make decisions. We all know that here in America. We are incredibly slow when it comes to making decisions. Let me just see what we want to do here. Now, one thing that you will note here is the different models, the army models for the Legion and the Levy. So the Levy has a Velates looking guy. So yeah, they have this Velates look, while the Legions look like, a more heavy infantry style model, which is, it's interesting. I'm glad they have differences here, though. Of course, we can see here with the Velates or the Levies that they actually have a lot of other units here. But it's just kind of cool that they look different. All right, so success in Ficaria. We have received word that the Roman colony at Ficaria on Corsica is doing remarkably well, so they changed the name of it. Okay, that kind of messed me up. In fact, some of the indigenous people are so enamored of our settlers' ingenuity and customs that they have all but abandoned their traditional ways and taken up alongside the Romans in their settlement. So this is going to change the culture of them. So you can see that this is like a way better option, because it's just converting the people that are there, and you're not getting that production penalty. I am curious to see how long that modifier lasts. So it lasts a long time. That's 10 years that you would have had reduced population output. Yeah, so that's a fantastic bonus there. They already have a building, of course, because they have a port located there right now. So when we fight the Carthaginians, we will be able to attack into Sardinia from here. I wonder if we'll be able to get a good levy size over there, so I don't have to send you across the sea. So they did block us here, so therefore we're not able to cross. We're not quite on the morale yet, so we won't be able to battle them. They're just going to have to sit on this side for now. I just want to wait 1 more month to get that morale up. It looks like they left anyway. And you know what? We can't even go anywhere. So there's real no reason to go past here. We got to wait until the siege is done. So we might as well just leave them over here. We'll move them over there if we get attacked by a larger force. All right, so with that, we can now do an omen. We could go ahead and get the discipline, but I really don't think it's gonna be necessary, guys. So let's just go with Mercury's bonus. We need more money, man. That's what we're gonna go with here. And the fleet, called them the Legion. The fleet is ready to come over and help us out. I'm just going to move them over here so we can get the siege done a little bit quicker. But yeah, the Romans took a long time to decide to help, and so the Carthaginians arrived first. And looks like we're going to be colonizing the next province here. Our prospective settlers now look to the founding of a colony near Pauca? I don't know. That's how I'm going to pronounce it for now. Again, until I'm corrected. As always, there are plenty of strong Romans ready to uproot their lives for a chance to find fortune on the frontier. A new colony needs a solid foundation, or a few settlers. We're going to keep doing this one, guys. All right, so we've already settled there. Excellent. I don't know what the population looks like in these areas. All right, looks like it's 7 for all of them. 7 pops with the exception of that one, which has 4. All right, so yeah, we're really getting a lot of new citizens. Or not citizens, but you know what I mean. A lot of new people into the empire. All right, so these guys want to trade for our salt. And where they want it from. All right, so this is all from Corsica here. Do we have the salt bonus here? Yeah, we already have the salt bonus. Okay, yeah, we're producing that here already. All right, so yeah, we can go and trade the salt away. Because yeah, I was thinking that if we didn't, we'd want to trade from Corsica. Because I knew we had gotten a salt, that we had one. But I wasn't sure if we had 2 or not. We do. So yeah, we're going to trade it away. Let's see who we want to trade it to. Yeah, we can trade it to those guys, why not? Get a little bit more money. Help pay for this conflict. So yeah, the Carthaginians came here first. The Romans didn't come till much later. And they are attacking us there with a very large force. They have a lot more troops than I was expecting. So we're going to need to get across here. And they will have the terrain bonus. Can we get over there in time? That is the question. We got some struggles in our new colony. It appears our settlers were not quite as brave as they imagined and have tired of their harsh life on the frontier. They look to return to the comfort and safety of Roma and civilization. Without further incentives, they're sure to abandon their colony. So maybe going with that route doesn't always have positive events. All right, well, that's good, because there shouldn't be a clear choice when you make event decisions. So we could say reassure them. That's going to cost money. Consul Appius is just this thing, in which case they're going to lose a local import route. All right, yeah, that's just kind of making the merchants happy, so we're not going to do that. That's for a while. It's 5 years. Or you say if they're weak, let them leave, and then it'll be uncolonized. So we're going to clearly want to give them money, and it's not even that much. So I'm still waiting for these guys to get across here, because otherwise, without those guys, we're not going to win. With them, though, this should be a victory. We just kind of want to watch it here and how things are going. I did not change up from the shock action, which doesn't matter because they're doing skirmishing. We could take a look at that. I haven't been looking at it enough in this campaign because, frankly, I think it's a stupid mechanic. I don't really like it. Because it's a guessing game. It's entirely a guessing game. You can kind of look at their composition and have an idea what they might use, but you're not entirely sure. So we're going to go ahead and start colonizing the next location, although it looks like it's actually going to be right here. We're skipping over this one and this one, apparently. So we're going to do the same option here. But yeah, I don't really like that mechanic, guys. I'm not a big fan of it. So we killed 7,000, they killed 3,500, so yeah, good victory for us, despite the fact that we had, these penalties. They did have the river crossing penalty, I think. Yeah, I think they might have had a penalty for crossing the river. I could be wrong about that, though. We'll probably go and retreat the non-legion. I don't know what size the fort is. I think we should be all right, because, we have enough men. So let's go and retreat these guys out of here, so we don't come up with any supply issues. And these guys are out of here. Well, yeah, if they're placed right here, then they shouldn't have gotten a river crossing penalty. So maybe I just looked at that wrong. Because if it's like EU4, then it's typically if you're crossing a river with your troops, then that gives you that river crossing penalty. So we had success there, praise Jupiter. And yeah, you can see that sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. All right, so it looks like it paid off that time. Almost done with the siege here. And it seems that they are engaging our fleet here. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, they did decide to attack the fleet, because that is paramount for them. They lost all 10 ships. We captured 2 of them. Alright, so we're up to 32 ships now for this fleet. I'm not entirely, or I guess we're up to 36. I'm not entirely sure why they attacked us there. That's kind of silly. Alright, we also have captured somebody. We never dealt with any of those prisoners that we have locked up. We really should go through those. So yeah, I got a nice little win here in the seas. Still got to finish up the siege before we're going to be able to do anything. Though, once it's finished up, we'll be able to go to both of these locations here. Alright, so now we're going to be colonizing the next location. Okay, but it seems that we don't really have a choice in what we end up getting here. Okay, they have met with success so far and wish to be recognized as the legitimate owners of the area. Alright, so we'll do that one. It's unfortunate we didn't get a choice there. There's only one province left to colonize there. We did finish up the siege here. Let's go ahead and figure out where we want to go next. So, obviously we're at war all throughout here, and the fortifications, there's 2 here that we have to take. Well, there's only 1 down here. So we can take this one here, and that'll give us control of these 2 provinces, so we'd want to take that. I think we should probably send the larger army down that way, and then the Legion could come here. Alright, so we'll send the Legion there. Let's go and bring the fleet over to here. We could let them repair up a little bit. Well, at the very least, we need to keep them here so we can get these guys across. So we'll have them come over to here. So yeah, we got our victory there. And this is the reason why some people ask me why I don't talk about the historical stuff when we're like playing the game and going to war, because I just get interrupted continually. That's the reason why I don't. It feels like you can't really talk about it at all without being interrupted quite consistently. So yeah, we'll come over here. But yeah, they you know, initially the card. Yeah, so here we go. That's why I don't talk about it, guys. That's why I have like a little part in the beginning where I do it and don't try and really talk about it in the game because it's just so distracting. I forget what the hell I'm talking about. I repeat myself over and over again. And so this time we have different options on how we want to deal with this. We can lose a little bit of manpower. Seems like it does have penalties regardless. It's a 50% chance. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I guess we'll go with that one. Oh, I don't know, man. There's a lot of negatives to that. I'm just wondering if this is going to result in further events, though. Because, yeah, I mean, we already have the aggressive colonization, negative 50% to the population output. Now you're going to get another one. And I don't think that's part of the 50% chance here. I think you get that regardless. And, yeah, the Roman citizen was already killed. They lose the manpower here. I just feel like there's going to be something that happens if we don't deal with it. So I almost feel like we have to go with this one. Yeah, I guess we'll go with this one. We'll see, guys. Might regret that. I don't know. I think I probably would have regretted the other option as well, though, because you can't just let them do what they want. We need to come over to here. I don't know why I'm trying to siege that down. I guess we could have let it continue, but yeah, we'll come over here and take the capital area. So that'll give us these 2 provinces here, and then from there we'll march over to Syracuse. Now, you can see that we are vastly outnumbered here, so that's kind of a problem. Now, they would be crossing the river. It is into farmland, though, and we now have to replace him, so let's go ahead and do that. Which family was that? I guess we could just look in here. Okay, so it's the Decius family. And I guess I'm fine with whatever guy here. We're just trying to keep these families appeased. And I think it doesn't really matter which dude we do here. We'll do him. He's about to die anyway, but yeah, we'll do that. I'd prefer somebody better here, honestly, but yeah, I'm just trying to keep those families appeased for right now. And that is my phone ringing, so I'm probably going to have to, yeah, we have been playing for a little while now. So we finish up taking that location. Let's go ahead and let the looting be gentle. But we will not be able to attack across here until we deal with these guys here. We currently have these guys busy. I suppose we can go ahead and move them over to here. I am letting these guys kind of repair themselves. Yeah, I guess we'll wait. That would speed up the siege a bit. We'll go ahead and let them repair up first, though. And I guess if they want to attack us across the river, we'll let them. Just hope that they don't, you know, they're not victorious in that. These guys are going around this way. I don't think they would attack them there. They would they would outnumber them, so maybe they might try and attack them there. They would probably lose though, so I'm not worried about that. I'd only be worried if the whole army attacked either one of these locations, since again they do outnumber us. So much so that I kind of want to go ahead and throw some more units down here, because yeah, we can get a lot more from Magna Graecia now, since we have converted so many pops here. So I think we're going to raise them up, so we can get another 4,000 coming down here, because yeah, we are kind of outnumbered over here. They had a lot more troops than I was expecting them to have, and a big part of that is because we do have that legion, so we just don't have as many levies, honestly, as you'd expect us to have, and then also, you know, we don't have very many integrated pops too, so that's kind of causing some problems there. All right, so yeah, it looks like this is not going to work out either for us. We're going to get that penalty, unfortunately. All right, so I think it was like half and half. Like half of them we got the better events there and the choices on what we wanted to do. All right, so they are not marching over here. We'll just have to see what they do, because yeah, they might end up attacking that unit. We need to get these 4,000 over there to assist them. Now, they would get a crossing river penalty there. Oh, it's a good thing we don't have our fleet out. We got a big storm over here. Got a nice little boost in our stability there. Excellent. So yeah, it's a good thing we don't have the fleet out. And, all right, so this one did work out. We did get the better event. That's actually here. Okay. All right, so we're converting the population there. It's working pretty well overall. And how are we doing on repairing up here? Are we done? We are done, but... Oh, nope. The ships that we captured from them are still repairing. But yeah, we're not going to bring them out yet because of the storm that's going through here. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait, which is going to slow down the... it's going to slow that siege down a little bit. We don't want to use the fleet. Let's go and get these guys moving across here. Now we'll just have them go straight all the way over to here, because that's where we know we want them to go there. So we'll get to march in, and unfortunately we're probably going to have to end the episode here, guys. We're going to let it get into November. And yeah, we'll just keep on doing this option, I guess. Alright, so this is where the agenda is. Let's just take a look at exactly what they are wanting to do here. It's the investment. So yeah, we saw that before, and I was hoping an event would pop up for us to do it, but let's see what the cost is going to be. So you guys can read that if you want. But essentially our options are, if we do this one, then we're going to use 80 political influence and get a building slot. So you're not getting anything for it, because that's how much it would have cost in the first place. All right, well, that's a bummer. They're just kind of forcing you to do it. Yeah, that's a real shame. I mean, yeah, you're not getting anything different. You would have got the 10 approval anyway. You spend the 80 political influence and you get the local building slot. So yeah, all right. Well, just kind of forcing you to do it. I thought we'd get like, it'd be cheaper or something from the event, but that is not the case. But I guess if it was cheaper, then you wouldn't really have any reason to not just wait for the event. All right, so we did win here. All right, guys, so I'm picking back up with this recording. This is actually the next day. You're probably aware at this point that the video did not come out when it was supposed to on Friday. I had mentioned earlier in this episode that I got a phone call, and that phone call was actually the plumber. I had the plumber that was supposed to be here. I had like 2 hours before he's supposed to be here when I started the recording. So they always get their appointments done early, and then they want to come early, and we typically just, whenever, if we're here, then why not have them come early and get the work done with. So, of course, he got the work done with early, and I knew when he called that was him, and then they called again, so I went and got the phone, and he was actually outside at that point. So I did have to stop the recording, and I came in here real quick and just threw a outro on it and just kind of hoped that it was long enough. But after editing it, it was like 41, whatever point we are at here, 41, 42 minutes, somewhere around there. And I would be fine putting that out if we hadn't had that really long historical lecture at the beginning of the episode, which I think it was like, I think we started the episode like 14 minutes or something like that, is when we would have started with the actual gameplay. After that, I think it was like a 12-minute historical lecture, which, by the way, was way longer than I expected that to be. I was shooting for about 10 minutes, so it was a couple minutes longer than I had wanted it to be. So yeah, I just didn't feel comfortable putting out the episode when it only had, whatever that was. I think it was like 27 minutes or something like that worth of gameplay. So that's the reason why we didn't have the episode on Friday. I just didn't have any time to pick the recording back up on Thursday night, because the plumber was here for quite a while. We did have, it was a serious issue, and it did require quite a while to fix, and a lot of money to fix, man. The plumbers aren't playing. is I'll tell you what, man, if you don't own a house, one thing you need to take into consideration is how much it's going to cost to keep everything up and running, especially if you're going to get like an older house, because this house for us has been a complete money sink. That's one thing you don't think about. You're like, oh, I can pay the mortgage, I can pay my my homeowner's insurance, I can pay for the taxes, but you don't think about like the maintenance on a house. It's pretty bad, especially with these older houses. It's just been a kind of rough year in general, guys, and it's certainly affected the channel. But this month in particular has been bad financially. Earlier this month we had the kitchen sink break, we had our heat break, and so we didn't have any heat when it was pretty darn cold here in Colorado. Luckily, we did get it fixed right before the temperatures dropped to like well below zero. We were able to get it fixed before then, but it was pretty cold up in here for a while. So we had that break. I broke a tooth just recently last week. I broke one of my back teeth while I was eating. It just broke in half, and it's kind of painful. It's painful right now. I've been popping Advil pretty regularly. I got a dentist appointment here in a few days, early next week. So yeah, I broke a tooth, and then on top of all that, here in February we have to renew our flood insurance, which we have to have because we're in a flood zone. And we also have to renew our car registration. So February this year has been really rough financially. So sorry about that, guys. It does sometimes impact the channel when things happen, and it just happened right when I was recording. He came, and I was hoping it was long enough, but it wasn't. So sorry that we didn't have this video on Friday like it was supposed to be. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna record a little bit extra. I'm gonna try and get it up to like, I don't know, maybe an hour and 15 minutes is what I'm aiming for, at least that. Kind of make up for not having a video on Friday. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue this conflict here, guys. So, oh yes, that's right. Do forgive me here. I know we're in the middle of an episode technically, but I don't remember exactly what we're doing. So we're going to move over here and take this fort next. And then we have these 4,000 coming over to here. All right, excellent. And the hope that they'll attack across here. We'll see if they do or not. I assume... Well, it looks like they're going over this way. They might come over here to attack the guys at this fort here, which would be bad because it's on the hills. Yeah, it's on the hills, so they would get that bonus. It would be vastly outnumbered as well. So what it might behoove us to do is to instead put the troops right here so they could quickly react to whichever location gets attacked, which it does seem it's going to be this location. So with the 4,000, that puts us at 10,000. We can beat their 9,600, but can we beat 16,000 with a mountain penalty? That I don't think so, guys. Even with our benefits, I really don't think we'd win. Now let's go and take a look at what they're currently utilizing here, because we haven't done that yet. So if we just look at the troops that are in this army here, they have some light infantry there. Yeah, quite a bit of light infantry, but a bit of heavy infantry as well. They do have some light cav. All right, and no archers. So with that, we can kind of take a look, maybe try and guess, what they might be utilizing here. I think they're probably going to have something that obviously gives them bonuses for the light infantry. Just looking here, I'm sure they won't use the bottleneck. They'll have too much light infantry for that, or the deception. Last time we fought them, they were using the skirmishing, so that might be what they use again. They could also go with shock action though, because they do have some heavy infantry. I don't think they'll use envelopment. Yeah, probably not envelopment. But I don't know, because the light cab might give them enough of a bonus there. I think it's probably going to be one of these two. So with that in mind, if they do go envelopment, we'll get the bonus here. And we won't get any penalty from either one of those. So yeah, we'll just go and stick with this then, which is what I thought. The other option would have been bottleneck, but with the bottleneck, I mean, you're hoping that they go with the shock action, which they're probably not going to go with. And if they go with skirmishing, which is what they most likely are going to go with, then we would get the penalty there. So yeah, we'll just stick with what we're at. It seems to be the best for us with who we're fighting and what we use, which is why I haven't been changing that up. So they are going to attack us there. Again, I think we'd probably lose without those troops coming. They're on their way. I don't know if they'll get here in time. And the reason why I think we might lose is because the terrain. They're saying we're going to win because, again, this is kind of broken here. It assumes that when you're on the defense, you're always going to get the terrain bonus. They need to fix the tooltip here. So as of right now, I mean, we are kind of winning, but as you see, we are getting the terrain penalty, and they did go with skirmishing, so we're sitting at 0%. Now, we do have a discipline bonus, but it's not much, and it does look like our commander is actually much better than theirs, of course, because we have that really good commander here in charge of the legion. So with that is probably making a huge impact here. We're throwing these 4,000 in there, but yeah, we actually do need them. You see, it was pretty close here, and they're gonna throw everything they got into this. That's kind of foolish, I think, because we've essentially won. I think this army here will retreat, but maybe they'll beat us because, you know, our guys have the low morale. It's hard to say. So Saturnalia is happening, and a stunning display of generosity. Servius, a well-loved member of our religious institution, has commissioned a grand festival out of his own pocket. All right. So we're gonna get that integrated culture happiness bonus. Excellent. So we could always throw this army here. I forgot these guys are over here. Let's go ahead and start the siege. Yeah, that's what I really want to do. We could throw them over here and help, but you know what? If we get defeated, we get defeated. We'll retreat. And we did win, I think, before the other army could come here, and that's going to result in them stopping. All right, awesome. And we took less casualties than we dealt. So that's what we want to see. So we killed 3,400 of them, and the siege will continue. All right, so we could go ahead and take, let me just see how the Legion is doing here. The Legion's large enough that we can go and move these guys. Let's move them out of here, and I don't expect them to fight us here, but let's go over here just in case they try and come over this way and attack us. We'd want any terrain bonuses we can get here so that we can defeat that 6,600. Yeah, they are coming up this way. All right, so yeah, we definitely want to have them attack us in these hills. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. They'll probably take that, which would then give them control of the 2 provinces here, since that's that capital region. All right, I think this is about our colonies here. And I assume that this is, yep, that's one of the colonial provinces here. And yeah, we've seen this event before. So yeah, we'll just keep on doing that one. So far, it's worked out for us. It's avoided any problems, but the production is being reduced by like so much. It's definitely making an impact. We need to take a look if our fleet's ready. All right, so Appius is ill. Our consul has had a lot of health issues. And he says he's got that infection. He's not even that old, which is interesting. So yeah, he's having a lot of health issues. That's such a shame. He's going to lose charisma on this one. And he's, I guess he's just losing health on that one. But yeah, you can see the health's going to start ticking down a bit more. He probably should live through the rest of his consul term, though. All right, so yeah, they're coming over here. We would love to have them attack us right there. Because then that'll be the river penalty, but we won't make it there in time. But we will go here, because this is in the hills. So yeah, we'll go there. Let me take a look at the fleet and see if they're ready to go out. I think there might be, nope, they're all done. I was going to say, oh, yep, 1. All right, I was going to say there might be a few ships that need to repair, but not enough to stop us from doing this siege. So let's go ahead and do it. We're going to try and get this one done first, because it's in the hills and it's a little bit, it's more challenging. They might now come over here to attack us. Hard to say exactly what they're doing. If they attack us there, you know, we get the hill penalty, but our really good marshal, I think, kind of more than makes up for it. But if they do attack, then I don't see any reason not to throw our troops over here. So we did finish up the siege, so now they can attack because we'll get the hill bonus. That's going to result in this province here flipping over to our control. And so now we don't want to attack them there in the hills. Yeah, that would be silly. So I'm going to move over here. Yeah, we'll just see what they do. We'll just keep our guys here. You know, they can replace some of the casualties that they took. Now these guys could actually move over to here. Although, you know what? Once the province here gets taken, then the ships there are going to be pushed out to port. So we actually do want to fight them there. Do that battle and get those ships sunk there. So they retreated over to here, which they did get the morale high enough that we couldn't completely wipe them out. We did kill 537 of them, lost 216 of our own. And looks like it worked out there. So we flipped two of the pops over to our culture. So these guys are retreating now, or leaving the port, I should say. So we'll be able to get a quick battle over there. Looks like we've already taken 2 ships, that seems. Yeah, I think we took 2 ships. Nice. And we captured another enemy as well. A couple enemies. So let's go to move these guys over to here. And I don't know, yeah, they have 6 ships. I was gonna say, I don't know if they have some ships over there. Yeah, we'll battle them once we take this province. We can go and push forward here now. There's another fort that we need to attack there. This is Yeah, this is going to have a river penalty. I don't know if they're going to get it, though. I'm not sure how that works in this game. In other Paradox games that have this mechanic, the river crossing penalty is not applied to somebody who's trying to relieve a siege. So they might end up not getting any penalty here, and we would get the little force penalty, which isn't that bad. So yeah, we'll go after this next. We have these troops here, which I was hoping they would attack us here, but they are not. Let's see if there's anywhere else we can go. Okay, so once this is taken, I think that'll result in all of these flipping. Yeah, because there's no forts here. So there's just these 2 forts left to take, if I'm not mistaken, because I do believe we are at war, yeah, with them as well. So there's currently 2 forts left to take. These guys might not be large enough to take it. Depends on how large the fort is. Yeah, they would not be able to take it. It's 4,000 to take it, but you can see that they're under that, and if they take any casualties from attrition, then the siege would not continue. What about this one here? Is this one smaller? This one's smaller. So what we could do is put these guys here and then these guys here, so we could be working on all the sieges at the same time. And I suppose that's the best way to do it. Let's see what these guys do here. Once they get here, I'm not entirely. They're going to attack us there. All right, so this one's, I'm a little unsure on whether we'll win here. We obviously are outnumbered. But at the same time, they're going to get the river crossing penalty. It is farmland, so they don't get any terrain penalties. And I don't know how good our commander is. He's actually decent. How about their commanders? Let's just take a peek here. It seems that their commander is the same skill level, so there won't be any bonuses there. So yeah, they'll outnumber us, and with that, they might be able to win, even with the river crossing penalty. It's really hard to say, because a lot of these are just light infantry. Yeah, they got some heavy infantry. Yeah, I think we'll probably lose that. So what we want to do is probably come over here and help them. Make sure we don't lose there. But I want to use all these armies if possible. Are they locked? They are. All right, so let's go and send these guys in. And yeah, looks like we were definitely going to lose there. Wow, yeah, that was bad. All right, so again, I am noticing this. It feels like the river crossing penalty is being given to the opposite country that would normally get it. It's not a -1 here, it's a +1. I kind of feel like that might be broken, because I've noticed that in the past, wars, that it seemed like the river crossing penalty was being given to the other side. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like it's being given to them. That's +1. It says it's supposed to be a penalty, but if it was a penalty, it'd be a -1. So it does seem like it's broken. I don't know, maybe I'm reading that wrong. Let me know, guys, but it sure seems to me like that's not working properly. Like, that should be a +1. You know, I play a lot of Paradox games, and they all have that mechanic, and it should be a -1, because that's what rolls, adds to the roll here. As you can see, because we have a much better general, we have a +4, as it should be. So you get it like a half a point, although it doesn't count the half a points, for each marshal above theirs. So essentially 1 point for every 2. So because of the fact that we are 8 above, we're getting 4+ here. But he's getting +1 for the river crossing penalty. So yeah, that doesn't make any sense. He should be getting a -1, or we should be getting the +1. Very, very strange, guys. All right, so the Colonization of Corsica, is this the last? Yeah, this is the last event, I think, of that. Corsica is now under our control thanks to our brave settlers, but it can by no means be considered a Roman island. Our new towns will need time to become productive, but aggressively pursuing Romanization may ensure their passivity, starting with introducing them to the God's true forms. So we can say we must encourage Romanization, in which case they'll lose some happiness, but they'll more likely convert. Are they not already converted? Let's just take a look at the province. So that would be one option. Pop conversion speed would be increased by +20%, or you can say leave them be for now and we get some happiness. How long does this last? Yeah, sure. Let's convert them. Let's convert them over to our faith. All right, so we finished up this battle here. We lost 2,700. They lost 4,200. All right, so with that victory, I don't think these guys will be able to do anything now. We'll have to wait a little bit before they'll be able to take that. So let's just have them sit here. There is another army coming. They wouldn't be able to defeat them, I don't think, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and have these guys start marching over to here then. How's the quickest way to go? All right, so we want to manually control them, just make sure we don't end up like attacking somebody in the hills unnecessarily. Because yeah, they do outnumber all these armies here. This is in farmland. Let's see what they do before we go any further. Yeah, they seem to be quite unsure exactly what to do here. I think they're retreating over to there. Let's go over to here, at the very least. If they attack us as into the mountains, they're pretty weak, honestly. We could probably defeat them, in fact. Yeah, let's go here. Yeah, they're not going to attack us. Yeah, we might be able to defeat them despite being outnumbered because we're a legion, and we have better troop composition, and we also have much, much higher morale. I want to see if I can't get these guys engaged. No, we cannot get them engaged. All right, so, and we can't even go here because of the fort. All right, so that's kind of a shame. All right, well, let's just go here then. Yeah, I assume they're going to come after these guys next. We're going to have to move. But they'll be stuck at that fort, if that's what they end up doing. Yeah, we'll just do these two sieges. Now, they could come in attacking either one of them, and they'll outnumber them, and then that's what we want to keep these. You know, it's 2,500 right now. It might be up to 3,000 by that point. And that's what we're going to want to do with them, is have them join up with either one of these. I assume they're going to get that morale up first. So yeah, they're going to attack the smallest army. Not surprising. So let's go and get them pushing out of here because we don't want to fight them. Obviously, we are vastly outnumbered here. And so now because we're leaving, they're not much interested in going forward right now. Maybe they'll come over here and attack them. I'm not sure. We don't want to go too far away though, because we want to make sure we can reinforce either side if we need to. It's a really good thing we raised that 4,000 men up. Yeah, we definitely needed them. All right, so somebody died here, and he was a head of a family, but he was not in any positions. Let me see if there's any other missions. There's not. Well, there is, just that one there. But I want to see if that one's still going to be available once we finish up with this conflict before we actually take that. It might be. We'd have to look at like the cultures of those that are left. So yeah, I think it's these guys here. Yeah, I think that's the culture. So I think it would apply to these ones. All right, so they are coming over here. Let's go over this way, and then we'll probably retreat over this way so we don't get stuck across there. Yeah, I think that's what we'll end up doing. Yeah, you can see that they really wanted to fight these guys because they outnumber us by so much. So we'd want to come over here and help out in this conflict because, yeah, you can see that's where they're going. You know what? Let's just go here. We'll stop bouncing back and forth because I think this is going to... I mean, they can bounce back and forth if they want, I suppose. All right, so we'll wait until they get locked. Oh, now they're going over against them. Okay, so let's go and start moving over here. Keep our eye on them. Okay, so they are going over there. Let's go ahead and help out. Since, you know, we are outnumbered, they will not get any train bonuses, but yeah, they could end up winning this here because I think this is a pretty shoddy commander. I mean, he's not terrible, but he's not great either. So I think they will have that martial bonus. Yeah, they definitely got the martial bonus. We still have a little bit of extra discipline here, but yeah. Well, maybe they don't have a martial bonus. Oh, there we go. It's applied. All right, so yeah, they got a martial bonus here, and we got a little bit of discipline. But we are outnumbered, so we are going to lose that. I don't know if this guy will get there in time, honestly. I think we might end up losing that. It's hard to say. We'll still send these guys in, see what happens. Should we go? Yeah, let's just keep going. Whatever. Whatever happens, happens. We're still continuing to siege here, and we'll just move the ships over here if we lose this. We actually won this siege. All right, excellent. So we could go and send them over there. I don't think that's necessary. Let's just go and start working on the next siege. And all right, we did lose this battle, but we killed more of them than they did of us. Now the problem here is that that other army is still going. However, the numbers are pretty close now because we killed so many of them, and I think some of them retreated immediately. So yeah, it might still go in our favor. This battle now, I don't know. It's hard to say because with these guys here, we have the martial bonus because he's much better. So we have the martial bonus, we have the discipline. So I think we're gonna win it because they have that low morale. Peace imminent. So we have 1,085 days to get this finished. All right. So yeah, these guys are on the retreat and they are going far. Okay, so we're able to win that battle and kill 2,100 of them for just 826 of our own. Not bad. Now I don't know if they'll build. Oh, there's another battle. Okay, never mind. All right, so that's not gonna work. All right, so these guys are gonna have to retreat as well. All right, so that's kind of a shame. We have the war score, but of course, if we want to take all this, then we have to win there. Getting these forts done, knocked out is gonna be really helpful. So we lost 1,800. They lost 1,250. That's the first battle where we lost more than we killed. So these guys will retreat now over to here, and they'll kind of have free reign a little bit over here, but they won't be able to destroy the Legion, I don't think. I don't think they have the numbers at this point. Nah, they don't have the numbers, they don't have the morale, so we should be able to finish the siege up, and hopefully by the time that's done, these guys will be ready to come back down. We'll combine all our forces to try and take the capital here, or in a battle, whatever we need to do there. So I don't think we've had this event here, so we're going to read it. Our pious consul Appius is a proud spokesman for the Pontiffs of Rome and the glorious gods they serve. A large proportion of his vote came from those who argue that the temples of Roma have long been in need of renovations. Appius went even further, however, and proposed that the construction of a modest temple to a fashionable and growing cult of Apollo, particularly popular with the lower classes. In spite of this, co-consul Beto has been unrelenting in his appraisal of the motion, holding forth at length on the fine quality of our temples and arguing against needless and expensive pandering to the whims of fashion when far more deserving deities lack the same attention. As things stand, there is no longer a clear majority for the project, so we can say we serve the gods. Consul Appius will attempt to pass their full agenda anyway, upsetting Beto. He'll lose a bit of loyalty because of that, and we'll have an event chain here. Or we say perhaps we can shoehorn another temple into the bill, in which case Appius will attempt to placate Beto, make a little bit of concessions to their agenda. He'll gain some loyalty. We'll get some influence. I think we'll go with this one again. This is another similar event that we've had before. Of course, very different circumstances that are happening here. But basically, these events are, I think, set up to, like, you know, cause trouble between the two consuls, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like that they added these, because these were not in the game when I played Rome last. They did not have this at all. Well, they didn't have two consuls, so of course they wouldn't have these. Yeah, pretty cool. I like these, and we're going to try and placate him, mostly because he's already got pretty low loyalty as it is. So yeah, let's do this one. We're going to get some political influence from it as well, and we'll see how the event chain goes. Last time it still resulted in him being quite pissed at us, our co-consul. Progress in the Senate. Discussions between Consul Appius and co-consul Beto have been fruitful, and it seems that the reservations of Beto and his supporters mainly stem from a perceived populist slant to the bill. Beto argues that we should not give preference to the gods popular with the lower classes alone, and that a more general renovation of main temple complexes such as that dedicated to Jupiter would be more palatable to the Senate. So we could say, Apollo would never forgive us. That's going to upset him. We lose that loyalty we just gained, also the political influence we just gained. So essentially we're going with the first option of that first event. Well, I suppose not necessarily, because in that first event it would have took 10 loyalty and he was sitting at 30, so it would have dropped it to 20. Or we could say we can stomach this, in which case we're going to lose a little bit of popularity, our consul will. Beto's going to gain more loyalty, and the Boni party will lose some approval, which I think is pretty high. We're going to lose 60 gold, but we have gold, and we're going to get a bonus to the Omen power. All right, well, let's just, and that bonus to Omen power, by the way, would increase our money a little bit, since we already have the national commerce income boost going right now. So yeah, let me just take a look at the Boni party. Yeah, they're at 100, so we got plenty of approval to sacrifice there. We can stomach this. I'm sure Apollo won't forgive us, but it'll be fine. All right, so we're going to do this siege here, guys. And then, again, when this army's ready to come back down, we'll bring them. I assume they're going to come over and attempt to attack that fort. Maybe they'll come over here and attack them. Then that would be really foolish. So probably not. We got more pirate problems here. We could actually fight them as well, since our fleet is out. And they're not doing anything. I'll see if I can catch them. I highly doubt it. They're going to go hide. They always do. Yeah, we can try, though, since we're not doing any sieges where we need the fleet here. Do we have any ships that were very much damaged? You know what? We should probably be repairing these. I'll try and catch them, but I assume they're bouncing. They always do. We'll see if we can't catch them somewhere, but yeah, I think they're gone, guys. All right, so siege is pretty close to being done. The Legion is doing great with these sieges, and we're getting that extra military experience every time we do that. They did decide to do the siege there. We're definitely going to want to attack them there, but I want to finish the siege. But we want to attack them there while there's the hill bonus, because we'll get the hill bonus this time. Yeah, we're almost done with this, so as soon as the Legion's done, we'll send them over there. Maybe we'll get them wiped out. I don't know. And then these guys here, we could let them sit and kind of repair some of their damage for a month or something like that. We'll see how much that jumps up. Yeah, that's fine. That's plenty enough, men. All right, let's go and send them over here. And maybe we'll send some over to that battle if they've increased their numbers enough to warrant it by the time we finish the siege. we'll see. We'll see how it looks when we get over here. They seem pretty unsure. They don't know what they're doing here. Yeah, they're quite confused. All right, so we won the siege here. Let's now go over here. And yeah, we'll battle them there. We'll be crossing the river, but you know, we've vastly outnumber them. I don't think they'll come and leave the siege to help. Nope. All right, so we completely destroyed that army, so now we get to fight these guys with less troops. All right, so that worked out in our favor because we didn't even take very many casualties. So yeah, we're going to attack here. Also, that got flipped over to us since we have the fort here. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and go here. And we finished up this battle. We killed most of the troops. We only lost 315 of our own. I don't know where they're going to go. I assume they're going over here. So let's go ahead and send... We want our legion to take this since there's nothing else to be done. And we'll have these guys kind of chase them around. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll have the levies chase them, and the legion will attack here so we can get the extra military experience. Though, I don't know how much they're actually getting. It seems like you're not getting a whole lot from it. I mean, anything helps, especially when you're only getting 0.64 per month. But yeah, I don't remember how much it said it was getting. I don't think it was a lot. All right, so yeah, we're moving over here. We're going to have a battle there, actually, I think. And then these guys here will likely go and chase down any troops. Yeah, this should be a real easy battle, so I'm not going to send any troops to help. Yeah, let's go ahead and go... Huh, I wonder why they're doing it. Oh, okay, maybe these are... Let me see here. Are they at war with somebody else now? Oh, there's a revolt. All right, so they're looking at a rebellion here. We're going to have to put that down because we don't want that to go in a rebellion's hands. So yeah, we're going to have these guys go over here then. And we definitely should be at war with them here because you have to fight the revolts as well. So we killed all 292 of those men there. There's another army here with 101, which we just destroyed. Excellent. All right, so this army here is going to be the one that's going to deal with any enemies here. And these guys are all retreating over here, so they'll all get destroyed right there. So that's excellent. So that'll be the entire army, essentially. Yeah, they got nothing left. Now, they might have the ability to raise them up again. I don't know. So yeah, we're going to try and attack here. This will be in the farmland, so... We're not going to get any train penalties. We vastly outnumber them. They don't really have anywhere to go, apparently. They're not even trying to run. But there seems to be a fort here. I don't think there was a fort there before. It almost seems like a fort was built there. Yeah, I don't think there's a fort there, guys. Yeah, that's a real shame. So now we got to do another siege here. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, yes, my fleet was... I completely forgot we were sending them after the... So let's go ahead and go over here now. You know what? Let's let them repair for a month, because they do have some damage here, guys. And no, I decline that. We're gonna take all of this over. This would be two separate wars, though, so we will be able to, as soon as we finish up the Syracuse siege, then we will be able to end that war, and then it'll just be against these guys here. All right, so with this one here, we can say he's a modest man. We don't get any anything from it. Or we can say glory to Servius, in which case we'll spend a little bit of money, gain some stability, and get higher religious tech investment, which I really like this event here, so we're definitely going to go with that. I find that to be well worth it. Whatever, 18, 20 gold, whatever it was. Definitely worth just the stability, but then you get the bonus to the research, and makes it really worth it. Yeah, we're just wiping out everything they got here, guys. All right, so just working on these two sieges now, and... Yeah, we just have that mission task, of course, and we can get a military tradition. We got up to 80 here. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and get the next one, which this one here, well, the following ability will be enabled, build military road. We can also, we'll get 3 innovations. Wow, that's so helpful, man. And then also the heavy infantry speed as well, the movement speed with the light infantry movement speed. So our armies might move faster, probably not though, because the archers are in them. So any army that has an archer, that wouldn't, because the army only moves as fast as the slowest unit. So the light cav are already pretty fast, but because of the archers, the army wouldn't actually move faster. So let's go ahead and get that. And then we can spend our innovations now. I'm kind of excited about doing that. So let's go ahead and get a few things. We're not going to spend them all on Marshall. I think we're going to spend some in the oratory advances, because there's some great stuff over there. Over here, we can continue going this route. Other options, of course, going here. There's fantastic stuff here as well. All kinds of good stuff over here. So Yeah, I think we're going to continue here, though, guys. Let's go and get this, because these are all great bonuses. Yeah, I like all these bonuses here. So, you know what? Let's get the reinforcement speed. That's always nice to have. And then I think that's going to be it over here, guys. Let's go and get some oratory advances. I feel like we're not quite going down this as quick as I would like. All right, remember here, we're working towards two things right now. We're going towards here so that we can eventually get one of these here, demand line of succession or request line of succession. And this will allow us to become a dictatorship. This is all kind of needed towards becoming the Roman Empire. And this also does cause a civil war based on how high your stability is. So the higher stability it is, the easier the civil war is. The lower the stability, the harder the civil war is, the worse it is. So yeah, I think we want to continue going on that, but we also want to go down this route as well. One of the really good bonuses here is this one. This unlocks Grand Theater City Building. That's a pretty good one. It also lets you take aggressive expansion down faster. That's nice as well. So we obviously can't get that just yet, but we want to continue moving towards that. Let's go and get this one here. This would help with the aggressive expansion that we're about to get. So yeah, we'll go with that run, and then maybe go ahead and go with this one because it's a free innovation, and I hate going for stuff that I don't use very often. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that now, since we know we want to eventually get it. Okay. So just waiting on these two sieges now, which this one's a little bit closer being done than that one is. We really don't need this many troops, honestly, over here, so we could go ahead and pull back on these guys. This is unnecessary. So let's just get them out of here. And they're going to keep on suing for peace, and I'm going to keep on telling them no. So once this is done, all these will flip, and then we can go and take control here, guys, of all this territory, and we'll just finish up this one conflict against the revolt here, since that's a separate war. And let me see if these guys are ready to come out. They still got a few ships damaged, so what we're going to do is let it tick over once, and then we'll bring them out. I know they're not fully repaired, but I mean, we vastly outnumber them, so it's not like we're gonna lose that. There's a pirate navy here that I would love to get destroyed, man. Can we fight them? We can't fight them. That's a shame. All right, so instead we're gonna come up over here. As far as like when you can fight them when they raid you. All right, so engineered outcome. So the enemy thought themselves safe behind their walls, but the experienced engineers of Legio Italia have shown this was false. They were not an obstacle for long. No fortress is stronger than its weakest point, and a good engineer will find it and take advantage of it in no time. As the sappers dug underneath the walls, weakening them, the army at large kept the enemy in the dark with feigned attacks. Without the engineers, we would have lost many more lives, and more importantly, time. Oh, nice. All right, so we'll take a look at this here. We just gained, let's go into our legions here. We just gained ourselves a new distinction. So this is right here. So this is going to give this whole legion plus 10% siege ability and +1 on siege engineers, man. That is awesome. Yeah, that is really nice. That's a good bonus to have. So yeah, that worked out nicely. Maybe because of all the sieges they did. I don't know how it... I really don't know if it's just completely random on when you get it, or if you get it after you did something a certain amount of times, that there's something like a variable that's being added up there to keep track of it. Not entirely sure, but yeah, that's great. That's a good modifier to have. I like that one. Because sieges already, they take a long time anyway, so. No, I don't want to do... Oh, hold up. What the hell's going on here? Oh, okay, so the rebellion ended. I'm going to decline that. Alright, so that just means we still have to siege this then to finish any conflict. So let's just go and send these guys over here because they would siege it quicker. They just kind of help out. I mean, it's just about done anyways, so it's largely irrelevant here. Let's go and bring these guys back into whatever port they're at, and then we'll stop paying for them. Was that the port? I think that's the port we had them sent at. Yeah, we can send them back to that one. That one's fine, I suppose. All right, so we've won that. We just gotta wait for this one to flip, and then we'll be able to end this conflict. So about 30 days, about half that now. And there we go, beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and end the conflict, sue for peace, and take control of all of it. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Are you kidding me? Did that peace end up? Oh, yep. Damn. That's frustrating. That's super frustrating, man. So now we gotta retake all this. Man, yeah, that's frustrating, guys. That's really frustrating. Because of that piece, we don't get any of this. Yeah, that's some BS right there. They shouldn't have been able to do that. So yeah, that's quite frustrating, guys. Ugh, yeah, we did all that, man, and didn't get hardly anything from it. Yeah, that definitely should not have happened that way. Not entirely sure why it ended that. Just really irritating. So we have a truce here until 488. It's only 3 years, but still, that shouldn't have happened. And now we have to fight them again and take all those provinces. So yeah, is what it is. There's nothing to be done about it. Hold up. I ended the war and I didn't get control of anything. Whoa, dog, what did I do? Oh, Lord, what did I do, man? All right, guys, I don't know what I did. I was trying to do that peace treaty. I clearly didn't take any of this. Huh. I know I went in it multiple times because I was confused about this. You know what, guys? I never reload. I think I've done my whole time doing YouTube. I think I've reloaded twice. 2 times I've reloaded in a Paradox game. Yeah, I think it's only been 2 times that I've ever reloaded in years and years of doing this. This is a reload situation, guys. I'm gonna reload. Yeah, screw this. I'm not conquering. I don't know how I did that, but again, it wasn't entirely my fault because I was all confused with what the hell was going on here. But clearly I did it in the peace treaty, but that was not what this was designed to do. I was supposed to be taking them. Yeah, I thought I had grabbed it all, but again, me going in and out of it probably got me all confused in what I had taken, and what probably ended up happening is I had it all taken, and then I clicked through it once and basically gave it all back. I think that's what ended up happening. I gave back all the territory that I'd taken from them. Oh man, it's been one of those days, one of those weeks, man. Yeah, we're definitely gonna reload, guys, and we'll have to reload back to, I think, the 1st of January, unfortunately. So obviously some people are gonna be, very unhappy about me doing that, but you know what, guys, I feel like it's necessary, man. We could try and sue for peace for just 1 at a time, I suppose. I guess that would be an option. Yeah, I suppose we'll do that, and then that'll allow us to get control of all this. I suppose that's the best way to go about doing this. So yeah, we'll do this 1 at a time because yeah, we were screwed on all this as well, and that was not my fault. That was the game that screwed us over there. So. And man, they got a lot of characters here. I don't think we're gonna be accepting many of these in here. We have a lot of characters right now. They actually have some decent people here, though. Yeah, I guess they do. Let's pass judgment on the important families in, and we'll try and get some good characters here. So maybe go with 2 of them. Not this guy. Yeah, we'll go with 2 of these guys. We're losing some popularity by doing that, but that's okay. Had the rest crucified there. All right, so yeah, we'll just end it with them individually so that we don't have this issue, guys. It's kind of a pain in the butt doing it this way, but is what it is, man. So let's just take a look at the characters that we have here, see if there's any we want to keep. We do need to be a little bit picky with this because we only have so much popularity to give away. You know what? Let's just go ahead and pass judgment, or excuse me, let's just go ahead and get rid of all of them. Could do it for the aggressive expansion, but let's do it this way so that we can just get the 4 popularity. Seems that we have some decisions available. All right, but we're not going to do anything just yet. Let's only get these conflicts done. Yeah, again, if it was just the mistake with the peace treaty on my part, then I probably wouldn't have done this. If it was just them screwing us over here, then I wouldn't have done this. But with the 2, it was just too much, guys. There's just no way. Ooh, there's some decent characters here. All right, let's go ahead and go into the pass judgment on the important families. And then we'll see if we want to keep any of these characters here. Yeah, we'll keep that guy. Have the rest crucified, get a little more popularity there. All right, so let's go and sue peace here. Take control of all their territory. And let's see if we want to keep any of these guys. I mean, we're going to be so populated. I think we're just going to kill all of them. Though we'll do it to get the aggressive expansion reduction this time. All right, so the last one here. And we want to actually take that. So yeah, it was all green. I just wasn't paying attention, guys. I'm thinking of it now, and yeah, I think it was all green. I had it red, and then I redid the peace treaty and clicked on them all again, and then they went green, and I just wasn't even paying attention. So that was me being stupid, just because I was kind of, again, kind of confused by what happened here. So let me just see if we want to keep any of these guys. There's some decent folks here. And when we are doing this, by the way, when we pass judgment on the important families, and I'm only looking at the actual family leader, that is not telling us which one of these good characters we're getting here. Of course, there could be good characters that I'm crucifying. But that's okay, though. Alright, so I think that's it. Yeah, I think we just gotta wait for this siege again. So, sorry we had to do that, guys, but it is what it is. So, we're gonna go ahead and do everything as we did before. I'm not gonna do anything different. So let's go ahead and do the one martial advance that we did, which was this one here, the reinforcement suite. And then we'll do the 2 oratory advances that we did, which I want to say we did the defending liberty, and then we did the shady connections. All right, excellent. So we got through that. We'll take a look at this decision here real quick. So we can do some sulfur investments here. All right, well, that's interesting. They'll permanently get this modifier, the Sicilian sulfur trade, population capacity plus 10%, slaves needed for local surplus -2, and population output plus 15%. All right, well, that's interesting. We'll wait to do this real quick. Let's just finish this siege up, and then we'll take a look at that decision again. I don't see why we wouldn't want to do it. Seems pretty good. They did raise up another 5,000 men. Ah, you bastards. So let's get this siege done. And you know, we could be doing this a lot quicker. Let's go ahead and send the fleet. I don't remember when we sent them before. I think we waited 1 more month. And we're close to the month being done anyway, so let's just go ahead and let them repair a bit more. And let's go ahead and go over here. So yeah, we'll have to retake all this, unfortunately. Whenever you do anything a second time, it never goes quite as well. So yeah, these will flip over to them, and I assume they'll come over here to do the siege. So as soon as we're done with this siege, we'll have the Legion go over there. And you know what? We just gave up that Legion bonus. I'm hoping we get it again, but no, we didn't. So I paid for it, guys. I paid for it. So yeah, it wasn't free. Me doing the reload resulted in us losing our dedication. So hey, you know, that's the one thing I've experienced before. Is that like whenever I have to re-record, like, which I never do it unless like the game crashes and I lose the recording or something happens, or if the recording, for instance, is unusable, like something happened, some type of sound problems or something. It's essentially the only time that I ever have to re-record. And one thing I've learned is that when you do something a second time, it never goes as well as the first time. Things will go great, and then I got to re-record for whatever reason, and it's always terrible. It's always terrible. And same thing happened here, as you can see. We didn't get that dedication, which is a shame. So that confirms that it probably is random, because if it was based on like a variable that was counting up like how many sieges you did, and then you got the modifier, one that would be easily exploitable, and then everybody would get the dedication too, because every time you do a siege, you're gonna get it eventually. So yeah, we're gonna go over and take this so that we'll have all the provinces under control. So yeah, I can see how it's a random thing. Yeah, real bummer. So we definitely had a penalty for that, guys. We paid for it. It is what it is, man. So yeah, we're going to take this. We might have to go and attack those guys. Let's actually start moving over there. You know what? Actually, let's go around this way. Let's see where they go. Yeah, they might come over here to this hill. So we've taken that. That'll result in these guys. Let's just have them go here, because I think we'll have to attack them right there. And yes. All right, so let's just send everybody in just to get this done quicker. Obviously, we don't need that many troops. Although, you know what? This guy should probably stay here and let that siege. Oh, you know what? It's happening already. My bad. We took that province, so that's fine. So yeah, we won. They were completely destroyed, and that means we are done. Oh, all right. So let's go ahead and end it this time, and let's not make any mistakes here with the treaty. All right. So say okay there, and we've got an event in the Conquest of Syracuse. The city of Syracuse has finally fallen to our troops and is now in our hands. Syracuse has been the capital of the Syracusan despots for a long time, a center of learning and technology in Magna Graecia. The city saw a lot of struggles with their Carthaginian neighbors to the southwest, as well as several conflicts with other Greek city-states in the region. With the city under our control, our men and advisors wonder how we should treat our old enemy. There have been people asking for us to sack the city to the ground and bring everything valuable back to Roma. Alright, well, we can say the marvelous city will become a new central part of Rome. We'll get plus 15% happiness. Appius will get more popularity. Guys, popularity's at 100. That's pretty darn good here. So probably all those people we killed. So yeah, I could go with that just for the local population happiness. That'd be helpful. It's a major city. They have a total of 26 pops here. We say we will take the most important artifacts, but keep the city otherwise. In which case, we're going to get 150 gold. Appius is going to gain some prominence, lose a little bit of popularity, and then we'll get a plus 15% local population happiness, negative 15% local population happiness. So penalty there. And then 12.5% of the population will perish. Or we say the city is ours for the picking, in which case we're going to get 10 years of plus 15% research points, 402 gold. Appius is going to gain a lot more prominence, lose a bit more popularity, and gain a bit of corruption. Syracuse will become a settlement and will no longer be a city. And they're going to have a much bigger penalty to the local population happiness, and a third of the population will die. Well, while I really like the benefits there, that is not what we want to do here, guys. We're going to do this one. Yeah, I mean, this one I don't think is worth it, just 150 gold. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that one. We're going to do this one, guys. Yeah, keep them happy. All right, so now we got to deal with the elites. And we'll just take a look, take a peek, see who all they got. Yeah, nobody too excited. I think we'll just get rid of the aggressive expansion. All right. So we're going to get this decision taken as well. Oops, it's still playing. So let's go and take this decision because it's just a fantastic bonus there. So you guys going to read that if you so desire. Pause it and read it. And we wisely enacted it. That was wise of us. And we got some glass here. I don't know if we want to trade that yet. I did have it set to trade the glass. But I'm not sure if I actually want to trade that now. Because I want to say that we had to trade for somebody else's glass. And so we could end up having issues with that. And I really like that country civilization level. And we're trading with 2 different countries for that. So what we could do is trade for our own glass. Like cancel one of those and trade for our own glass. Well, you know, I guess what we could do is trade for the glass, and then if we lose it and we can't get another one, then we'll get the one from Sicily. We'll just have to keep that in our mind that we do have glass there to trade for, because trading, you know, with other countries is, you know, the foreign trade routes rather than the domestic trade routes is way more profitable. All right, so Seleucid wants to trade with us. And why not? Sure. He's pretty powerful over here, but yeah, we'll trade with him. Take his money. All right. So we do have half of Sicily now. That's a little over half of Sicily, actually. Let's go ahead and get rid of the levies. Let's go and disband those. Get a little chunk of military experience. And now let's go ahead and send the legion. Yeah. I guess we'll have them work on roads next. I suppose that's going to be their job here. So we can get, like, what I really want to do is have the roads going all the way down to Syracuse. And another benefit of the roads is that they do increase the assimilation rate of the province. And I want to say they also do it for the provinces nearby, the neighboring provinces. So that's one benefit of roads too. So we definitely want to also have the roads going all the way up here as well. But I think the priorities, and since our legion is already here, is to get the roads going all the way down to Syracuse. And then we could from here have the road split and go over here as well, so that we can get straight over to the borders with the Carthaginians. So that'd be an option too. So yeah, we'll keep them here in Sicily. They'll build roads for us. We do have this mission done. Okay, so it looks like we do not have this one available. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it wouldn't be available any longer. All right. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't take that, because that was concerning the countries that we were already at war with. So yeah, it was a good thing we didn't take that one. This is the next one. We'll do all that next episode, guys, since this one is essentially over. One thing I did want to mention, though, is something I've been trying to talk about in this episode and wasn't able to, was, you know, how the first Punic War kind of started. It's just so difficult to talk about it, you know, while you're playing, because you're constantly getting distracted and interrupted and stuff, and forgetting where you're at or what you said and what you haven't said. I know in the first 40 minutes of the video that I edited, it was like, yeah, it's just kind of a mess. So what I was saying though is that this province here, is an independent city-state, and essentially what happened there was they had some mercenaries that were formerly employed by Syracuse. And these mercenaries were in the city, and they took control of it. And so the city asked for assistance from both Rome and Carthage. Again, Rome kind of deliberated on it too long, so Carthage was the first to react. So they went and sent troops to siege it. Eventually, Syracuse sent an army to siege the city as well, because it was, their mercenaries there. And I don't know, I wonder if Syracuse wasn't going to try and take control of the city too. There's two armies sieging out there by the time that Rome finally decided to get involved. And the reason they deliberated for so long was because many Roman senators didn't want to get involved outside of Italy. At this point, Rome really didn't have the imperial mindset, this idea of creating this empire. A lot of people think that that's how Rome did things, that they just had this, we had that one event that said, that the Romans were, going to conquer the world and all peoples were going to be under them. That's really not the way that the Roman conquest worked. Most of the Roman conquests were actually just moments of opportunity where they were forced upon Rome. Somebody attacked Rome, or somebody attacked a Roman ally, or sometimes it was over revenge. The Romans wanted to get revenge against somebody. There's a lot of different reasons why Rome went to war, but it wasn't usually over like power, expansion, money, building an empire. Like that's typically wasn't the case, at least for the early and mid periods of the Roman Republic. So when the part where they built a large chunk of their empire, the part that this game represents. It wasn't this destiny of Rome to conquer everything, and so they were very much deliberating whether they even wanted to get involved on Sicily at all. That event also implied that Rome was looking at Carthage as an enemy, a rival, but that wasn't the case either. Rome had actually not really been an ally of them, but they were commercial allies in a sense. They were trade partners. They had traded with Carthage, and Carthage had actually helped the Romans against the Greeks in their war against the Greeks here in Magna Graecia. The Carthaginians sent them resources and supplies. They certainly helped out the Romans in that conflict. So the idea that they were just these enemies and rivals, as that one event indicated, is actually not true. That was not the case. That was another reason why Rome wasn't really all that interested in getting involved in Sicily, is because Carthage was here and they didn't really want to provoke the Carthaginians. So with all that being said, one of the few exceptions of Rome's war policy, conquest policy, was here in Sicily for the First Punic War. The senators that wanted to get involved here, they convinced the rest of the Senate to finally come and help out here. Just based on greed. They made the argument of the money that they could make, the lands that they could take here. So they definitely finally convinced them to get involved based on greed. That's why they finally got involved in Sicilian affairs. And so it's one of the few exceptions. It was the First Punic War was definitely a conquest that was geared more towards wealth and power. In the case of the elites of Rome, the Senate. And so they ended up getting involved. Eventually, this did result in war between Carthage and Rome, and that's the First Punic War, which, again, I don't really want to get too much into it. But Syracuse was actually, I don't want to use the word forced, but coerced into being an ally of Rome. Syracuse was an ally of Rome, at least initially, in the First Punic War. And it kind of all started here. This is what got Rome involved. And that's how it kind of started. And, of course, the First Punic War was an extremely long conflict, lasted quite a while, and had some very major battles, particularly major naval battles, which, if we do talk about the Punic War, I don't know exactly what we would cover, but that was one thing I would like to cover, is maybe some of those naval battles, just some of the battles in general of the First Punic War, rather than concentrate solely on like exactly the day-by-day events and stuff that happened. Because, again, you can only cover so much in 10-15 minutes, I feel, when it comes to any historical scenario, war, situation, or whatever. Just topic, any historical topic. In 10-15 minutes, you can only cover so much. So maybe talking about just like a battle or something would be kind of a way to do it. Because again, I wasn't too sure how to cover the Punic Wars in a short amount of time, in 10-15 minutes, just because there's just so much to them. Even just one of them, there's so much to it. Look at how long this took here, and all we did was talk about how the war started, for Christ's sake. So, I mean, yeah, you could really get into it and get into details. And so I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to do it, and that's the reason why we covered something else here for our second historical lecture. But yeah, that's essentially how it started, and that's it. That's just the beginning of the conflict. And as for Sicily, that did end up being under the control of the Romans after the First Punic War. They also got a lot of other territory as well. Yeah, that's all we're going to talk about here. I did want to mention that since I kind of was flirting with it the whole episode, kind of trying to talk about it. So I did want to at least go over it. I thought we sent these guys over here. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I brought them back or something. So yeah, let's go ahead and let them go over to port, and then we'll stop paying for them. And then we'll use the Legion to build some roads. So yeah, that's going to be the end of today's episode. We do have some disloyal characters. That might flip, though. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens there. Whether we have an issue. As of right now, no risk of civil war just yet. I think it just needs to update. I think we just need to wait a second, and it should hopefully fix itself here. We'll also have to take a look at the event here, which we'll have this one available, but not... we might be able to do this one next. I'm not seeing anything that's saying we won't be able to complete it, so yeah, I might be able to do that one next. I don't know if these two are choices here. Yeah, we'll have to look at those. That leads down to here. But we can't do that one until every territory in the island of Sicily is owned by Rome or subjects, so I won't be able to do that one just yet. Alright, so I hope you guys did enjoy today's extra long episode. I mean, yeah, this is a really long episode. It's basically like 2 episodes. But I did feel bad that we didn't have an episode on Friday, and then I let you guys know at like the last minute because I wasn't too sure if I was going to be able to get one recorded or not. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I do hope to see you guys on the next episode, and thanks for watching.